In this lesson, we're going to go through the process of writing a very simple program. We'll do the classic Hello World program just to demonstrate how to start. So the first thing we're going to do is load code blocks. So I'm going to double click the icon. You may have a different version than I do, but it's all the same program. At some point I may switch to a newer version also. We want to create a new project. So the first link we're going to click is create a new project. In this course, we're going to be creating console applications, and we've talked about this before. So we're going to select console application and go. We're working in C++, so we'll select that. And we're going to call this project title FirstProgram. You can call it whatever you want to call it, just make sure that you keep up with what it is. We're going to always use the defaults here, so we're just going to click Finish. So what you see after that is you have pretty much a blank editor. So what you want to do is you want to click on the Expand button to expand sources. And then we want to double click on main.cpp to bring up our first program. Now, as a default, C++ or code blocks automatically brings up Hello World. So let's take that out. In fact, let's take everything out. You'll always see this, but I want to go through the process to talk about what's part of a program. The first thing we want to do is add our preprocessor directive that allows us to have input and output. So we have to include the IOStream library to give us access to our main program. I'm sorry, to our objects for creating input and output. The next thing we want to do is create our main program, our main function. And that's what we're doing right here with int main. Every program has to have a beginning function that the compiler looks for to know where to start the program. And int main is always that program. Is always that function. Next thing we want to do is we want to write the phrase hello world to the console. And we do that like this, using the command, the statement cout, and then two less than signs. That's the output operator. And then the string phrase hello world. We'll talk a lot more later about what strings are. But for right now, just know that any text that you want to output to the screen has to be placed in double quotes. Then the output operator again, and then the command endl, which means end the line with a carriage return line feed. So what we're saying in this line is that we want to send the string hello world to the standard output, the console, cout, and then we want to have a carriage return line feed so that the cursor is at the next line if we wanted to add more output after hello world. The last thing we have to do is, is provide the return 0. And all I'll say about that for now is that all functions, well, not all functions, but this particular function, main, is what we call int main, and that means it has to return an integer. And 0 just means that the program ended normally, without any sort of error or anything. So that's your first program. To watch it work, we come up here and we select the Build and Run button and click it. And if all goes well, and it should, then we get the phrase hello world in our output screen. And then press any key to continue to take us back to the program. And with that, you've completed and written your very first program in C++.